And thanks for introducing us to this channel, man. Appreciate it. Shouts out to Anissa Oliva for giving us these shirts.
Yeah, for me, it's like my viewing experience is kind of the opposite of everything.
Because the thing is,
surprise is an
directly attacking me.
Toward me.
I don't welcome it upon others.
Generally, I prefer to go into a film not being spoiled, but even if it's blockbusters these days, which seem to pull themselves in so many different directions and water themselves.
I appreciate
like burners. Where does I think I asked him once, like,
when we say romantic comedy,
Rouge, you guys can skip ahead if you want to. It could be this one. Basically, whatever video.
Like Supernatural, he's just got costumes.
Spoiler, a mild spoiler, but a spoiler nonetheless.
Have you seen Moulin Rouge?
Yeah. Yeah, a few times. Things then
don't want to reveal when they talk
spoil
about
Forrest Gump for me. Hello, Reject Nation. I'm Greg Alba,
and I'm
and 1 and 5 are better than 2. But movie scripts aren't built by focus groups.
Here, and I feel like that's a theory that I would maybe meet him halfway
about what is
comedy, tragedy.
So that way, it's all full in and of itself is technically filled with spoilers because of the back. Tweet me.
Being a white guy, you got to be ready.
I am not afraid of spoil.
At what point does information about the film go,
you know, diffuse some of that anger through at least some of this perspective?
Entirely.
Yeah, I hate this man. Have still been effective, or that when I watch
based on the lore. Not every time a spoiler will ruin a movie, and sometimes
it works, and the only way it's not going to happen is if this goes catastrophically bad. I do appreciate what he's saying.
We watched it. Watching the movie, I was still able to really enjoy it. I was bothered by the fact
durable but logical reveal without cheapening or invalidating what came before it. Those are the kinds of films I don't want spoiled for me.
This one, because I get where he's coming from.
That Bruce Willis actually died in the opening scene, and he's been haunting Haley Joel Osment. It is because genre is.
I got that one,
but everything else.
And I do agree.
Experience. I didn't see a trailer, but I saw Rotten Tomatoes, saw how high of a score it was. It kept saying stuff like,
"But he's a sexy man."
They're built by artisans, and multiple competing visions can easily spoil it.
It is called "Why I'm Not Afraid of Spoilers."
He has some solid points. I guess arguably I would care more about Infinity War movie review. We both said like Black Panther.
Donald M. Humphrey.
You know what I'm not afraid of?
What, Greg?
That hinge on plot twist might not be as effective the second time.
The ride sequence in The Desolation of Smaug is going to blow my mind. I will read assessments as they can get. So they hire multiple writers to tinker with the film's plot with a lot.
And then other times it's going to be a real bother, you know?
In my mind, as a moviegoer, I know that the more details I put into it beforehand, the less I find his address and I'm going to mail him some hate mail. Being I will backpedal it.
You'd no doubt consider that a spoiler. But what if all I told you was at the end?
How a film was going to make me go off his last thing here, I would care.
You look at the back of a movie box, media, and see if I agree. Here's why I think most people have a strong
gut.
Those things, it's...
Well, I know how this is going to pan out.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to, you know?
True that.
It's like a prequel.
Exactly giving away the ending, but it is a form of cluing us in to the content of the film.
Those things distract me. If it's like I know there's a plot point coming up, I'm going to sit...
Then is the guy who had cool art house action and stuff. All right, this sounds cool. I'll check it out. And then I ended up loving it. Ultimately,
sometimes I actively seek out...
on it best for those movies where I'm like, I'm on the fence.
I'm not going to watch it.
If it's a good movie, yeah, you should just check it out.
Because there's always so much more to that.
Not only do I not...
And then, before she dies, I'm going, I hope she doesn't die. Of a person. You know, he actually makes some pretty good points. Maybe if he replies back to me with, I'm sorry.
I was just having a bad day, man, and I saw your video first thing on my bad day. Let's you see it.
No one can tell you how this movie...
How the film expects to make me feel that way. Which is where full-on plot summaries come in.
That's all I have.
Yeah. Wouldn't have a hard time, you know, reading a plot summary and just going into a movie and enjoying it. And I've seen...
Spoilers, let's do this.
Take a sharp left turn, something with a twist, like The Sixth Sense we care about, and it does make you mad if you cared. I do feel like there are certain ways in which we could...
For the whole film.
As hard as possible.
Spoilers.
He must be a film buff.
Without spoiling anything. So I will warn you right now, I am going to spoil the following 2 films.
Whatever, I could probably guess the plot, but it's about...
It basically boils down...
There are movies that are formulaic to a point where the point is not, you know, by reading the plot, you see how it's going.
Before I saw Moulin Rouge, I was told Nicole Kidman died. I don't think... Because he has a point too.
These people won't die, and they'll demonstrate certain of the same abilities next time.
Very different statements, though.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, he looks great, chiseled.
I know.
Put together. They're going to want you to really experience it. More about how films same thing. I didn't read anything on Drive, and I didn't see a trailer. Drive was the opposite.
Video's mailroom. At best, they might finish summarizing the first act for you.
It got spoiled for me minutes before.
I think what he calls some form of spoiling is just a hint. You know, like, here's I would feel differently towards a big blockbuster.
Knowing how the film expects to make me feel that way.
And how it's going to make me feel that way. Gamut of spoilers when you have so many different genres that hinge on so many different things. And there are...
The person said, they say it in the beginning, she died.
Approach, in opinion, you know?
Bowels of the Marvel studio.
That, hey, it's different here. Sometimes it won't be a bother.
And most all movies.
He had this line here. He said it two different ways, but they're implying the same thing. He's like,
it's fine. This isn't
when you pop in on most everybody else.
Someone's like, isn't it the proper way, which is little to no spoilers.
I think what I appreciate most about this, though, is that the title...
It is. I usually don't mind that much. In fact...
I personally hate that. Someone's like, I know the ending. It doesn't matter. Story. And if a movie's accurate to the sting and love and kindness...
and tragedy. And back then, comedy didn't mean funny haha.
Reject Nation, and she also gave me this magic 8-ball that you might have heard me
fully agree with him.
I like this guy.
I'm sure I'll go into in a future video, but...
Dies. I was like, whatever. I watched the movie. I know she's gonna die.
Spoiler alerts on any of their articles. And on a more personal soapboxy note, I believe that
if this one does well and it's already in the
film,
that's
why you've got so many boxes.
It's not something that you can look at the movie.
Opinions are subjective.
Comes next. I know people like that. They'll see a film once and then they can never see it again. And then if the first act ends with any sort of surprise, any more...
Oh yeah. No, if he replies like certain major beats versus something more off the beaten path that could beat her
and go, whoa, what?
It's gotten so bad we can't even say what a film's
about.
You shouldn't be afraid that it's a supernatural thriller with a romantic...
I just had to say something. But he just got some stuff that I'm pretty fascinated. I might go. But if it's a movie I care about, I don't want...
It's hard to make a video about
DVDs,
spoilers.
Top reward tiers on Patreon is whatever video...
Publicist in the...
Something in a show or movie
that aren't my own on this subject, go read the Wikipedia way. That's never been done in quite the same way before. The film that's secretly been building to an inexorable...
Yeah, so much free context before watching a movie, though.
Except for whatever its genre designation might suggest. I like knowing how a film is...
Before I saw it. And then the person, I forget who told me, might change my mind. Because that's a true sense of character.
From just information about the films in this video.
It's gonna make you feel. How they expect you to feel. Anything like you get a Fantastic Beasts 2 situation where they infuse new plot elements or like, wait a minute.
I'm just gonna be in the moment watching the movie, and that's important.
Spoiler. Don't we all want at least some form
yeah, I agree with that.
Well, especially
still of intrigue. They stop right there. And you have no idea.
But damn, do I care about that first time. I care a lot about that first time. Like me personally, requested this. Kurt, our nomad friend, who I don't understand how he has a cellular device when he's all put up on YouTube. We're going to do Why I'm Not Afraid of...
Like I'm a normal human, and I hope that misfortunes befall him for the rest of his life.
I'm just going to really want you to just...
idea what to expect from the rest of the film.
Artists or the focus groups who put this bad
there with it in my mind, you know.
Yeah,
we all
coming up with anything that hasn't worked for some previous film. Nothing mind knowing how a film is going to make me feel. Oftentimes I like ends happily, as opposed to tragedy, which meant
the episode or the movie, I didn't see the moment coming in the to make you feel, and then
it's like the mark of a great prequel when you're like time you watch it because oh wow, this film hinged so much on that twist, hinged so much
that I know is gonna follow.
And modern reviewers
the fact that it's a prequel
and like automatically decode.
If the part
of the video about why I don't always mind them.
Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse looking pretty good, you know.
106%
around the battle, but the big posing shot is in the trailer.
You know? We know that in the finale, though.
Fresh. I think about like if the artists, the creators, all the countless people, whether it's the...
Don't need to waste anyone's time.
People love that twist.
Long story short.
Out of the film.
Yeah.
So what you get will be good. Yeah.
I come down...
Neo-noir, historical...
It's about this, I could go from
it. And I give you a heads up. A movie based on a true story, you could look up the truth. I hate having to be fake around you.
The tone now to do all of the tension.
Yeah.
Basically. I get why some people... Yeah, and I'm gonna...
Spoiler? I'm like...
It's not a specific plot detail, and it doesn't... Yeah, it's like, too, it's like tension comes from mystery, so...
Always. But I also think that the filmmakers...
reaction to avoiding spoilers at all costs. The reason is because ending is bittersweet. What if all I told you logic that, hey,
writers
two
look like?
experts are better
The thing is, going back to what I originally started talking about, every viewing experience is... I'm about to talk about a movie called Mulan. Where does your money come from? And I don't remember, because this guy's just always, like, traveling.
special. And for a lot of people, what
element I think that is important to certain movies and I appreciate for
What? That's kind of confusing. You know, what's a spoiler? I remember for our
want some form of spoiling, as he says. Like, that's what it is.
you can only watch a film for the first time once. And if you want to see some pretty remarkable thoughts, those self-aware twist endings that are just gunning for a twist for twist's sake,
Maybe he just rolls up in a town, you know, gets a little part-time, become so much bigger and more extravagant and yet somehow more disposable because given, and I feel like spoilers have become this very contentious, very...
nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing unexpected. Spoiling before we go.
Trailer is. We
get a more rewarding experience because you're not expecting Black Panther to be in there for a lot
To this. Movies are expensive. Wikipedia page which explains why they don't use...
You guys can subscribe to the building up to that, but so many films are about journey. You frustrate me.
About how they communicate the plot. And I like the way he touched on that idea too, that it's how it wants
down with a lack of
movie. I already know what happened. Like I
it's hard not to think about
for themselves. This is just
being factored in. All those elements. And for me, I like general...
It's an opinion piece. He stated his opinion.
I mean, he's wrong. Like,
Down and it turns out
that one makes a lot more sense to me in terms of marketing, opinions, Rotten Tomatoes.
I saw one of those.
I've seen a lot of smoking.
So, what is a spoiler? Speaking of giving away the ending, back in the olden days, reading detailed plot summaries before you...
Spoilers, why, cold crash pictures, one of our...
moment, but at the same time, I don't share this. We'll probably all work together and save the day. And that's also something too, because I feel like, you know, even if I don't...
A spoiler is telling somebody what to expect from a movie before you go see it. Which means there are...
Video, and thanks for sharing that to us. Idiot for leisure.
exactly what it means.
Check us out on Patreon. We got a lot of goodies over there where it's all about Bond. Look, opinion.
If I'm particularly interested in knowing why MoviePhone.com...
But yeah, we should be thinking about what the 50th viewing will be like, because now more than ever, I feel like movies have been...
On that reveal that it's not even that enjoyable of a journey.
And depending on your genre...
Request is definitely do.
That going in, because job articulating it, I just don't share it very much.
Yeah, I don't share
you know,
that
like...
level of viewing experience were given to me right before. I was really like annoyed about that.
Yeah.
And so it pulled a button here. The thing about viewing experiences is they're not all the same. Generally, I do like that. Like, I feel like a trailer is good enough for me. Watch it with little to no knowledge. Fresh yeah.
And if it isn't filled with just the vaguest of vagaries written by some...
I think sometimes people get a little ridiculous about...
Why else would they call Dante's Inferno the first act of a divine come to a full-blown spoiler?
That's like my favorite shot's the major tracking shot where it's going on Rotten Tomatoes consensus, the blurb.
Not the capsule reviews or anything.
I would just see the tomato meter.
Yeah.
And I will respond with, oh, whoa, I wasn't actually expecting you to reply, but now that you did,
Right
sexy
there.
man, Kurt
He's
Anderson.
not afraid of no spoilers either.
Thanks for sharing us this video. It's like, I don't think ultimately spoilers should deter you from watching a movie. I would never be racism.
Oh, me too.
Drama.
Huh.
It puts a series of expectations in our heads. It's not exactly... No, the real olden days. There were only two genres. Comedy.
Like, to know that.
Yeah, well, for me, I don't know. For me, just taking in...
It's true. A lot of times that these films...
To do that, you know, how it wants to achieve that feeling for you. I think his point of view...
They cost a lot to make, and producers want as much of a guaranteed return on their investment.
Some kindness. Fifth time as opposed to the first time. I hate spoilers.
I hate spoilers.
Because we know that at least the
on the road to constant
burners, man.
Story, you know it's gonna happen.
Either way about actually seeing it, but if I read the plot break topic, because you know we've all had a moment where somebody spoiled something.
Is being spoiled. Blade Runner 2049 reward tier you want on Patreon. He's not in this movie a lot.
This ain't the Black Panther 2 movie, you know.
I feel like you might actually get annoyingly playing around with here.
Where's my Rubik's Cube?
No.
Things where I've had endings spoiled or moments that are huge spoiled that
Want the viewing to be...
The trailer is selling you on they go to Wakanda, Black Panther's in it.
There's a lot more work than just one plot point, you know.
Always.
In an experience. A vague idea of the experience you might have. And all the keystroke commands are doing different things. And then after a second, it was like, okay, let's not type so hard.
Kurt Anderson. opinion.
It's a good opinion. No, you
Yeah.
should have seen the screen. It was just like time gig, you know, like sleep someplace low maintenance.
I
and
mean,
then
I've seen his
moves on.
Instagram of guys in shape.
Go see a film. I'm talking about something as basic as knowing what genre focus. Or they let their today. Which is way more information,
You know?
Yeah. There are so many ways to approach the argument.
if you will. Let's take The Sixth Sense as an example. If I told you
Read any of that because I'm like, I just want to see what this movie's all about. Everyone's loving it so much. Drive was this.
I care more about how a film is going to make me feel on the 50th viewing rather than the first. Knowing you go see a film can spare you from watching a lot of crappy movies. There's a problem in Hollywood, which I like knowing how a film is going to make me feel before I go see it.
Or
I like
Because we disagree, and that's what you do.
hit the dislike.
Is kind of underutilized.
You're certainly focusing on him a lot when he popped
So today I'm going to talk about something that can imagination sit in the front step, never
them. So for my
It would occasionally pull me out knowing what the ultimate reveal is, since it's bit that reveals.
comedy.
Dante.
No, back then comedy meant
Interesting points of view.
Me, if I really don't want anything spoiled, I might just see the.
his point of view, and I think he did a good job.
designation, or at least not shy away from it like it's the plague. Going still further, Tom thinks the barrel.
Wow.
When that rare film does come along, the one that
the one with
ends
the
in a
girl being
surprising but
dragged.
inevitable
For the big films, they always tease the finales. The fucking big shot of event.
Found in a weird way on
up a lot in the last couple of years on my blog, namely, why I'm not afraid of spoilers.
It's like I wouldn't want to know
Beginning movie, you find out she's died. She's gonna die. It's,
because
It's gonna make me feel before I go see it. That's why I think we should bring back the whole.
wow,
yeah, but yeah, I didn't actually.
just those
Yeah.
and fraudulent credit cards.
Like he's never on business trips. When the
Where
circle
they're like
is-
circling around.
Yeah.
and-
I'm like that. I do. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that comment.
It's a good opinion piece. Yeah, you know what? Why
And
don't we
it
pull
runs.
it?
John, there's no time. You didn't prepare. Click that notification bell. God, oh
Fuck yourself.
you stupid, no good.
Angsty top.
Makes it special is not knowing what comes.
You're like, oh.
different magnitudes.
Your request, we must definitely. I'm trying to make sure we're both centered, so when we do the crop ins, it's equal. Whatever make me feel in the 50.
If you've just read the whole movie, it's up to
Traveling for leisure
Just
across
on
the
a
world,
life trip.
back in the world right now.
maybe. Hey,
Subplot. What if all I told you was that it's a Shyamalan film? An early.
that they're going to defy the formula, and so in those cases, I'm like, sure. One is just that now there will always be another one waiting up, but doing less
Full plot summary on Wikipedia Shyamalan film.
too.
I welcome it.
I
If it's
defy
if
you
it's-
A
to.
video about why everybody should spoil films.
Be like, it got spoiled. I'm never gonna watch this movie.
I'm poopy. 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 I am poopy. I'm 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 poopy.